Did you know that as of 2017, 22% of American adults were functionally illiterate? That's slightly more than 1 in 5. Before we go much further, because I know that you're about to go to Google and be like, actually, Kendra, the literacy rate in the US is 99%. We're actually doing fantastic. Let me tell you that 99% statistic has been the same since 1990. At least. When I talk about literacy, I'm not just talking about the ability to see a word and be able to identify what that word is. I'm talking about the ability to see a paragraph, read the paragraph, and gather information from it. One of the major issues with literary statistics is that it's highly dependent on how you define literacy. The stats that say that the United States has a 99% literacy rate are only looking at adults that are able to read and understand super basic sentences. I like chocolate is a really basic sentence with a really basic meaning that anyone that understands a little bit of English and knows what chocolate is can understand. The meaning is pretty straightforward. I, the speaker, like or enjoy chocolate. Functional illiteracy is different from being completely illiterate. Most people would be able to read this passage and gather a few pieces of information from it. One, there is still the implication that I, the speaker, like chocolate, even though it's not stated directly anywhere in this little passage. Two, it's implied that I, the speaker, do not like Dalton. Why? Because there are two pieces of evidence that point to this conclusion. So we learn that Dalton doesn't like chocolate, but we also learn that I, the speaker, I don't like anyone who doesn't like chocolate. So when you put two and two together, I don't like Dalton because he doesn't like chocolate. I like to point out that if you don't like chocolate, that's fine. That's your own thing. I don't judge you for it, but you are incorrect. So people who are functionally illiterate would not necessarily have come to this conclusion on their own, much less be able to explain the information anywhere close to the way that I did. Were this passage to have been part of a larger narrative, a functionally illiterate individual might not have been able to pull out this information to kind of understand how the speaker and Dalton interact through future encounters, and why those interactions would be in any way significant. And let me restate that roughly 22% of Americans would not be able to pull together this information. So why is this an issue? Because, it's not like every day that people go around having to be concerned about people's chocolate preferences, much less have to read about it. But here's the tea. 22% of people are unable to read and understand and draw information and come to conclusions from text. That means contracts. That means health insurance plans. That means the terms and conditions that even literate people don't read. That means not understanding a buy one get one sale sign in a store. Low-level literacy impacts people's abilities to get jobs or housing or other basic essentials. The worst of this is there aren't a lot of programs out there that are intended for adult literacy. Programs that do exist aren't very well advertised. You don't really know that they're there. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, now Kendra, the government doesn't need to be making all of these programs. And while we can debate all day about whether or not the government is meant to serve the people or not, think about the huge economic loss caused by this significant number of people. By some estimates, we are looking at approximately a $2 trillion cost to the U.S. economy per year. This is not accounting for any kind of impacts caused by the functionally illiterate not voting or being manipulated into voting against their own interests because they don't really understand what's happening. Nor are we considering the magnitude of the unique ideas and perspectives and potential intelligence that these people have that they just can't communicate. Or the number of ideas that are currently being highly miscommunicated because people don't understand and they can't gather the information the way that a functionally literate person can. Of course, more research is needed to be able to give definitive answers on any of this, like how much of an impact does this significant number of functionally illiterate people, what impact is this causing? Further, it's not really clear how much, if any, of the research accounts for mental disabilities or family economic status. While the 2017 study that I pulled from does account for the individual's economic status, as in whether or not they are employed, it doesn't really account for the family history. But even more work needs to be done to determine how we can fix this adult literacy issue in the US. The first step, however, is to spread awareness, and I hope that this call into the void helps. So as usual, my references are in the doobly-doo below. Feel free to fact check me or let me know if I got anything wrong and I can correct myself, because that's how learning works. If you personally know somebody who struggles with literacy, I also have some resources down in the doobly-doo below, ways to find programs that are currently available. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Bless you. The issue with literary statistics is that okay.